This video is themed upon how to defend against really direct teams that launch long balls out of the back and play very, very direct. Everything is forward, go right away. And let me just put a side note to this video is this kills development, especially in youth soccer. I see too many teams that can't play out of the back and they're not willing to go through the growing pains to teach their team to build out of the back properly and be able to pass the ball out of the back. Don't get me wrong, there's a time and a place where you need to go direct, aka when other teams are pressing you very high. Yeah, go direct into the forward's feet, into the winger's feet, and skip that first line of pressure. That's right. But too many teams don't know how to build out of the back when other teams defend neutrally or very defensively. And this happened last weekend when we played. We played against a team for a second time that everything they do is long ball. Goalie gets the ball in his hand, he punts it. Goal kick, they get a big defender to come back, launch the ball up. Free kick, run of play, defender's feet, launch the ball out of the back. And my team knows how to defend that. So basically what we did is we had our team sit back very deep. Especially our midfield line. The only one that can be up and put pressure would be the forward, which would be ready to pounce on any short option that the keeper would choose to play out of the back. And the other team was confused. They didn't even know how to break out of the back. The goalie held the ball for 15 seconds, not knowing what to do because there was no pressure. They didn't know, they weren't sure about how to break out. So they rolled it out, my team pressed, and we put pressure, we won the ball, and we literally pinned them in their half for 15 minutes. Teams have to be taught at a young age how to build out of the back. If they don't, it's detrimental to their development. And the reason why is because it doesn't translate onto the 11v11 field. If you try to launch balls out of the back on an 11v11 field, it's a much bigger field, so you can't kick the ball as far, but also if your possession time is short, you are going to get very, very tired. Because teams that can spread out and pass the ball, once they collect that long ball, they will kill you in keeping the ball, and it's pass by death. It's a very Spanish type of play where they keep the ball, they move it side to side, they move it, and while they're moving that ball, you have to do the work to defend on a bigger field, which will make you more tired. And if you win that ball and you don't keep that ball by passing on offense is when you are resting, all right? You're still making bursted runs, but overall that is your rest time. When you're defending, you're chasing the ball and you're defending at 100%. And if you don't, the other team will find gaps and find ways to penetrate and get into dangerous scoring options and score goals on you. So you have to be taught at a young age how to build out of the back. Otherwise, when you translate onto bigger fields where you have to cover more space defensively, you're not going to be able to defend for the full 90 minutes or 80 minutes, depending on the youth age that you're at. So we're going to take a look at this video. We're going to see how my team defends against other teams that like to play long balls, or I guess just one team that likes to play long balls, and just watch some clips and enjoy how we defend.
So this first clip is about spatial awareness and specifically shoulder checking to know when you can turn and when you cannot. We play this ball off the kickoff back to our defenders. We switch the ball around, and Fernie, you're here in the center defensive midfield position. The ball is played into JR and back to Tyler, and then it comes to you, and you don't shoulder check. So you don't know that you can turn here, but you have so much space. The more we can switch the ball to the other side of the field to change the point of attack, the more dangerous we can be. All right, so the theme of this game, playing against FCC, unfortunately, was to drop back as deep as we possibly can every time their goalie or defense got the ball, because they like to launch long balls. Now, you see, as we do this, they're very confused. They don't know how to build out of the back. And when they try to, we end up trapping them, and we have 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes of the first half where we literally just pin them in their half, which we stick exactly to the game plan and execute it well, and therefore get a lot of scoring opportunities. All right, and another clip of our game plan, exactly as planned. We're dropped off, we're deep. They play it into their back, and we start pushing up, pressing it, and we end up winning the ball again. Here's another one, exactly as planned. And now they stop actually trying to build out of the back and they start trying to play long balls, even though we're dropped off ready to receive it. You can see that they do not want to play the short ball. So they start playing the long balls, but our midfield line is dropped off deep enough where we can be in a position to clean up those long balls and win those long balls. Then they try to build out again, and again the ball is stripped and we get another opportunity off a corner. Another one, I think this is about 7 minutes into the game where they still actually haven't gotten out of their half. Same thing here where we execute it really well. And I'm pointing all these out because we're doing it well, but there's a time in the game where we leave our game plan and we're not as disciplined, and they actually figure something out strategically where they start getting past our game plan. And I want to point that out as well. But well done here again. They've gotten just past our half and we have possession again. David, about your corners, you are so good at corners, but this game you were serving a lot of corners floated onto the keeper where he collected it. You need to drive it in with more pace on your corner kicks. Make it difficult for the keeper, or if you are going to float it, just make sure it's about to the penalty spot area or over to the back post where the keeper can't come off his line and easily grab it. All right, guys, so here it is, the transition. I think it's about 13 minutes into the game, and their keeper has changed his game plan. Instead of collecting the ball and waiting, he is now receiving the ball and he's instantly sprinting to the edge of the box and blasting the ball as far as he can before we can get back and set up waiting for that long ball to happen. Now in this case, we actually did a good job of cleaning up this ball, but it made it more difficult for us because we couldn't get our wingers back far enough to defend this. Now, how do we get by this? If a team starts doing this, we're going to have to be a little bit more disciplined with our center midfielder. So our defensive midfielder has to stay connected just in front of our defensive line so that we can have one person back to stay in front of their forwards and win the ball, as opposed to getting caught too high. The long ball cannot go past the D mid. So the D mid has to stay back, which might also mean that the defenders, the right back, center back, and left back, have to drop deeper as well. So the ball is landing on our midfield line, our D mid, not on our defensive line. The goalkeeper could punt it much farther than he can kick it. So for goal kicks, he was still playing short balls in which we were still intercepting the ball and getting goal scoring opportunities from that. So we stuck to the game plan for about half of the first half, which is good enough, right, guys? Wrong. All right. This is where we start deviating from our game plan and start getting undisciplined. All right, so we have JR here as the left wing, Alex as the attacking mid, and Seamus as the right wing. You guys are not nearly deep enough. To compensate for the goalie not being able to kick the ball far from the ground, they've had their big kid, I forget what number he was, start launching the ball. Every goal kick, every free kick in the back, just launching as far as he can, and you guys fail to recognize it early enough to drop off and win the ball. This ball needs to be landing on our midfield line, not on our defensive line. Now, David did a good job here of winning this ball, but it was a little bit lucky. He stuck a leg out and won the ball. We have to be disciplined. We have to stick to the game plan. Doing it for half of the half or even 29 minutes of the 30-minute half is simply not good enough. This is where I'm disappointed here. Also, the only person that can be high here is whoever the forward is. In this case, it's Chato, so he can be up and let that ball go over his head, but our midfield line cannot. Here it is again, same story all game. This time we did a little bit better. You can see our midfield line is dropped off quite a bit deeper. But where I want us to measure, we should measure if we succeed if the ball doesn't get past our defensive midfielder. Now here, Connor is our defensive midfielder. The ball should not get past Connor, and our defensive line should be at least 5 yards behind Connor so that if there is some sort of mistake, we can support and cover. All right, keeper doing a good job, doing a quick punt as far as he can, and this is just a mistimed aerial. There weren't a lot of mistimed aerials, but Connor, we can't misjudge this. If you're unsure, keep that ball in front of you, but this ball cannot get by you. All right, so this next one is for Sammy. Just learning your positioning. When the ball is on the weak side as an outside back, you need to tuck into the middle and you need to join Kalani. That icon be here, please. That's where you need to be. You need to be back about 5 yards and tucked into Kalani so our center back is not 1v1. So in short, on the strong side, be skin tight to the person you're supposed to mark. And when you're on the weak side, diagonal down, tucked in a little bit for support. Here's another goal kick, actually taken short. We do a good job of dropping off. We force the short ball. And this is probably the best the FCC did building out of the back. I think they completed 2 passes before losing the ball, which was actually pretty decent for them. But then we end up winning it and doing it because we stuck to our game plan. Also, love the quick throws. They're super effective. JR, good job bringing the ball down and keeping it in. And I love these switches you've been doing. We got so many opportunities. I think you hit 3 maybe that were just really good switches from one side of the field to the other, which allowed us to take space and actually penetrate. Great job. Seamus, you did a great job taking it down and getting into the box and getting the PK for Chato, who then buries it. So here, goalie takes a quick punt again, and we don't have our CDM. So how I want us to defend this, learning this kind of for the first time, is I want a CDM in front of their forward, and I want our center back, who is behind the forward right now, Kalani, and then our right back and left back are responsible for the wingers. That's how I want us to set up for this. Goal kick is played long and we win the aerial because we're in pretty decent position, not the best position. And then we counter and nothing really ends up happening from it. Our attacking third play was pretty weak, and this is something we will be working on for the next couple weeks. Here's a little highlight. So we got the formation. The goalie took a long goal kick and we had our D-mid in front of their forward, our right back, left back, and center back all marking, and we won the ball. All right, Seamus, here we have a corner kick and you need to be out deeper. You can always move forward to this ball, but you're not going to be able to backtrack to get it. You get pinched too far in and it goes outside the backside. The weak side winger is responsible for the ball not going outside the far side of the box. Following this, there's another corner, and following that corner, they end up breaking out of the back and getting a goal off a breakaway. And I called this maybe 3 times before it happened. We were outnumbered in the back and we weren't disciplined. We need to have even numbers in the back +1. So if they leave 3 forwards up, which they did during those 2 corner kicks, we need to have 3 back, plus we need to have 1 sweeping in front, which should be the defensive midfielder, which I think is supposed to be Connor for the most part. But we have to be disciplined. Here, we end up not being disciplined. We leave numbers in the back. They get a breakaway, and there you go. Tie game right there. Here, they end up launching the ball again, as usual, and we clean up this ball. And David, you play a great ball out of the back into Seamus. Seamus, great touch. You brought some balls out of the air down very nicely. And then Chato ends up getting an open shot and buries it into the far corner. Just a very good possession overall. All right, they have a goal kick here, and we're dropped off very deep. Well done. We do what we need to do, and hey, because we do that, we end up winning the ball. Ball doesn't go over our midfield line cleans it up. And even if our midfield line did make a mistake, our defensive line were also dropped off in case that ball bounced past us and we were able to get it. Goalie gets the ball. He's going to punt it again, of course. We don't do a good enough job getting back far enough. And Tyler and Sammy, one of you have to talk to step towards this ball and win it. You cannot let that ball bounce over your head. It's not good enough. We need better judgment, earlier judgment, make a quick decision, communicate, and execute, no matter what that decision was. Here we do an excellent job on this goal kick. We drop off. Seamus, I would even have you a little bit deeper. You're a little bit too high. I would tuck in a little bit more. Good job, Chato, winning the ball out of the air, and then we break out. Another goal kick, and we do very well. Again, we had them pinned in their half for pretty much the last 10 minutes, other than that one that bounced over our 2 defenders' head. And we kept them in their half and had opportunities, but failed to convert. Connor, we can't afford to have these missed aerials. You got to get your body on it. I don't care if it's brought down perfectly, as long as it just goes forward.
So you saw the clips and you saw me break them down and got a little sneak peek at what I saw in the video from the clips that I pulled from the game. Would be interested to see what you saw and if you have ideas of how to defend aerial ball. So if you have any comments, please comment, like and subscribe, and that would be awesome. All right, see you guys.